Hi everyone, my name is Corey Dow and I'm a technical marketing engineer with HPE Aruba Networking. Today we're going to take a look at the elevator pitch review of a new feature release with 10.15.005 called Route Target Rewrite across fabrics. Okay, so again we're calling this feature Route Target Rewrite across fabrics, but essentially it boils down to two new features that we've introduced. And you can see them kind of called out here. So Route Target Auto Mode Legacy is now made available with 10.15, and also the replace RTASN command that you can see listed here, and we'll describe that in a moment. So in this topology diagram, we have two fabrics here. So on the left-hand side, we see fabric 1 with ASN number 65100, and then fabric 2 on the right-hand side with ASN 65200. And they're connected, these two router IDs are connected using an eBGP tunnel as illustrated here with the blue icon. So prior to 10.15, the routes imported from the peers required manual route target imports within the EVPN VLAN configuration. And you can see an example of the manual route target imports as you see listed here. This is what will go away when we use the Auto Mode Legacy and replace RTASN features to simplify the configuration required for the RT imports. So in route targets, when they're auto-generated, they're based on two different formats as defined by the two RFCs here, RFC 8365, which is the default, which has a 2-byte ASN prefix with a 4-byte suffix. And then there's also the RFC 4364, which is configured with the new route target auto mode legacy command, which has a 2-byte ASN with a 2-byte suffix matching the VNI. And you can see an example of what that looks like here with RFC 4364. So that's that format there. We'll see the other format in an upcoming slide. And so the neighbor replace RTASN, it's configured within the BGP context, as you see here underneath the EVPN context. And what this allows you to do is it allows this router to rewrite whatever the incoming route target is with the ASN of that specific router itself. So as an example of what it would look like, so we have this MAC here, the 00BB with 10.1.1.11, communicating across the fabrics to this destination over here, 10.1.1.10. And so when we have the replace RTASN feature configured, we see here the router ID 6.6.6.6 is actually the border itself. So when this packet comes from the other side, from the other fabric over to this VTEP1 with replace RTASN, it's going to go ahead and rewrite that. The route target would have initially been 65100, or I'm sorry, 65200:10, and it's now rewritten at 65100:10, so that the MAC entries can be programmed automatically without having to have these manual imports in place. And so replace RTASN, it works with both route target formats, both the RFC 4364 and RFC 8365, and manual route targets as well. And we'll see what this looks like later in the demonstration. Simplest approach is to just configure the route target auto mode legacy on every device in each of the fabrics, and to use replace RTASN to rewrite the ASN for the entries learned for other fabrics. And this just simplifies the route target configurations that are required. And so an alternative approach, as we can kind of see over here, is you can manually configure the route target imports and exports on the leaf nodes and use replace RTASN to rewrite the entries. So it's indicating that the route target auto mode legacy, it's not required. But it is preferred to simplify the configurations. Okay, so let's take a look at these two features when they're configured together or apart from each other. So in figure 1 here, we can see the configuration for leaf 1. So this is the VTEP1 here in the earlier topology that we looked at. And so we've configured the auto mode legacy command under the EVPN context. And so this generates or auto generates the 2-byte route target format based on RFC 4364, and you can see the representation there as the ASN 65100:10. And then when you don't have the auto mode legacy configured, which is the default, then it generates the 4-byte format. As you can see here, it still has the same ASN number, but there's a 4-byte representation for the suffix. And then in figure 3, we're kind of just showing you the pre 10.15 behavior. Depending on the route targets that had been created, you'd need to have a manual import for the ASN based on either the 2-byte or the 4-byte format, and this is just showing an example of that. So either the 65200:10 or the 4-byte format that you see here. And so these are still required if you don't have the replace RT-ASN configured within the BGP context, as you can see here. So our neighbor 6.6.6.6 is the border VTAB. And so without replace RT-ASN, the original route target is just still going to come in. So it would be coming in as 65200 as the ASN, when we can see that the ASN for this router is 65100. So that won't get rewritten unless you issue the replace RT ASN command. So just keep in mind that the manual route targets are still needed if you don't use the replace RT ASN command. So changes to both of these feature configurations. So the replace RT ASN configurations do require that the BGP sessions get restarted using the clear BGP star command. However, changes made to the route target auto mode command don't require any session restarts. However, the mode needs to be consistently configured across the EVPN fabrics. Okay, and so in this slide, we can see the platform support for each of these two features. They're primarily targeted to data center switches, as you can see. In fact, these are all data center switches. And so we've provided support for all the platforms that you can see here, even the new 8325P platform with the release 10.15 The only exception to that is the 8325H, which hasn't been released yet. And so that support will come in a future software update or firmware update for 10.15 in the upcoming year. And speaking of Airheads, the Airheads community is an online space for technical network professionals, including customers, partners, and product and solution experts to connect and discuss everything HPE Aruba networking, including deployment, configuration, troubleshooting, and best practices with their peers in the community. Signing up for the Airheads community takes less than 2 minutes, and all you need to do is scan the QR code and sign up today. So we'd encourage you to do that, and I'd like to thank you for reviewing this session.